Hi all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So today let's start discussing about the blue-green deployment. So what is blue-green deployment? Blue-green deployment is one of the deployment strategies which is available in our Kubernetes application. So here you can see in the screen here, end user are using version V1 of the application. Developer has started his version V2 development and he has kept ready. So here version V2 has been deployed as a different deployment name and a different deployment name, and it is exported as a different services name as well. So end users or the stakeholders can test the version V2 of the application with its dedicated services, which is deployed as a dedicated deployments to ensure that version V2 is up to the mark and it is get to rolled out to a production for the end users across the channel. So now what would happen is ideally now we would be flipping the service name which is used for version V1 to use it as under version V2 and expose it as a service. So which means the same service name what we used for accessing the version V1 would be used as the same service name for accessing the version V2. So once the V2 is successful, we would be deleting the deployment V1. So this is the blue-green deployment strategy, which means the blue-green deployment strategy has been used to upgrade the application with version V1 and V2 with no downtime. So now let's start discussing about that in detail, how it happens technically at the backend working session. So here I have I have created an deployment blue.yaml file. Let me open that to explain you. So if you have any doubts on these parameters or the deployments and services, you could refer to my old Kubernetes session, and as well you can refer to my recreate deployment strategy video in which I would have explained each and every parameter used it across. So let me explain watch out here. So metadata name, if you would have seen here, I would have defined it as a deployment strategy blue. Okay. Another couple of watchouts. The other watchout here is you see the label app name here is deployment strategy example, under which I have grouped it as version V1, which was not available in either the recreate deployment file as well in our rolling update file. So this is the new entry of the parameter. And then you can see here in the image I'm pulling it a version V1 to be deployed. So the services you can see here there is a metadata name. The label name I'm keeping here as deployment strategy example itself. And in my label name, I am keeping in the diploma strategy example, but I'm grouping it as V1. Here also on select trap under, I'm grouping it as V1 and exposing as a load balancer, which is a Google's provided load balancer through which I'm exposing a service. So let me go ahead and, sorry. So let me go and deploy this file, kubectl apply -f deployment blue.yaml file. So which has created deployment named deployment strategy blue and as well deployment strategy example as a service. So now let's validate it. Kubectl get all. Mm. If you see here, the deployment has been deployed as deployment strategy blue, and the pods for those deployments are you can see the deployment name deployment strategy blue followed by the pod ID, which has three, and all the three are in running state, and it is exposed as a service name deployment strategy example through a load balancer, and it's still pending to get registered with the Google's provided IP, and it can be accessed through the IP colon port number 80, and it is available as a service for last 16 seconds, and it has three replicas, and this is the replica set name. Okay, you can see the replica set name has this under the deployment as three desired replica sets. All the three are in current state, all three are in ready state, and as well it is in up state for and it is up and running for last 18 seconds. So let's get into the services to see it has got registered it or not. Yes, it has got registered with an IP. So let's copy this IP and see the status of this. It goes through port number 80. Okay, so the application has been deployed as a port number under port number access to port number 80. So this is my version V1 of the application. Now let us go and deploy version V2. Let's clear this to avoid a confusion. So let me copy the deployment hyphen blue to a deployment hyphen green dot file, which I've already done it. You can do this way, and you can get into the deployment green dot YAML file. So here you can see that the deployment name I have named it as a green, whereas earlier it was blue. So here the version I'm grouping it as v2. I'm pulling the version v2 of my application image. So the deployment metadata name, I'm naming it as deployment strategy green. So here the label name should be the name as same name as how it was in the blue deployment file as deployment strategy example, and the starter name also should be the same. We should match the app name. So this app name and the label name should match this label app name and this container name such a way that it is deployed properly. So go and save this file. Now let me deploy this file. Kubectl apply -f deployment green dot YAML. Sorry, it's my bad. It's a typo error. So if you would see here, I have created a deployment name deployment strategy green and a service name deployment strategy green. So let me do a get all. You could see here there are three pods for the blue deployment three pods for the green deployment files, and there are two services created. One is for the service strategy example, the blue one, and the green one with the services, and it is waiting for to register its IP, and the two deployment files and the two deployments replica sets as three for each. Now let me get this services alone to see whether it has got registered. Yes, it has got registered, the green one. Let's go and see here. Be the IP. Let's access through port number 80. Just wait for a second. Yeah. So here you go. You see that the version 2 of the application has been deployed. Now it has tested that. I have tested that this is fine. This is what the expected result, and I'm happy with it. So now what I do is let me go to my. So now my end users, my production users are using this IP. Okay. So what should I do is this IP should I need to deploy the same to this IP. So what I do is so this deployment strategy examples deployment file is deployment hyphen green. So which is my latest deployment. So what I do is I will go to this file, okay, where my latest deployment is running. So I would flip the service name of this service name and put it into this deployment. Let go to the file. So you see here the deployment name is green. So let me go to the service name and use the service name as example. As you see here, so this was my earlier blue deployments deployment strategy example service name. Now I created earlier to named green to validate and test it. Now I am happy with it. So I am replacing this green service name with the example service name to expose it as a production copy. So I've done it. So let me do a kubectl apply the same file. If you see here, the deployment is unchanged, but the service name alone changed from my new deployment service name to the old production service name. So you can see it as configured. It's changed. So now let's see, go get all. There should be any change. So rest all the same. Okay. So this was my old version V1 homepage and version V2 homepage. So the version V2 homepage will be the same. So the version V1 page would be changed to version V2. Yes, here you see now it has been changed to version V2, the same service name. So now I have deployed it, the version V2 into my production service with no issues. So now let me clean up the old deployment to remove the old pods so I can clean the resources. So let me do one deployment. Kubernetes delete deployment. So my deployment name is deployment strategy kubectl delete deployment deployment hyphen strategy hyphen blue. Okay, I have deleted that deployment. Now let's see kubectl get all. You could see that deployment has been deleted. Yes. So my deployment has been deleted. Okay. Now I need to delete this deployment as well, which I have made it obsolete now. Kubectl delete service service deployment hyphen strategy hyphen green. So now I am deleting this service as well. So now I'm cleaning up all the old one. So now let me clear this to see kubectl get all. So the latest deployed version V2 should be using the old existing service name itself. Okay, fine. The service name is same and the deployment name is green. Okay, so now I go to my the existing production newly deployed version into my old services. It's working fine. And this was my version V2, which was exposed, deployed as a different deployment, exposed as a different services for testing purpose with users. Now we dealt the service last season. The page is not available. It's keep on spending still. So thanks guys for watching the session. Let me post another video with canary deployment. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.